What's going on, guys? Welcome to Frank's Media and Reviews. And today's video is going to be movie reviews and just what the heck I've been watching lately. So bear with me. The first two movies are reviews from a tier member, Insomniac. He is part of the completionist tier. And in that level, you get to request a movie for me to review once a month. And so in this video, though, I'll be doing August and September's reviews for him. Also, one of them is like really good, and I'm gonna start off with that one like right away. So FYI. Also, check out my tier memberships. It starts as low as $1.99, $4.99, $9.99, and $19.99. And of course, thank you to my current tier members. I really appreciate you guys being part of that extra level support. So thank you so much. Also, hit that like and subscribe button. If you do, I really appreciate it. All of that promoting. All right, here we go. As I said, I'm going to start off with my favorite one that I watched. And this is a movie I thought I have seen before, but I clearly did not because I don't remember any of it. And when I told my wife about this film, she was pretty dang excited to watch it. So that had me intrigued already. And that movie is Frequency. It's from 2000 and it's directed by Gregory Hoblit, and who also has directed Primal Fear and Fallen, which are two phenomenal movies. And this movie stars Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel and Elizabeth Mitchell. This movie I'm going to read a little bit of synopsis and then just tell you about the movie. What if you had the chance to travel back in time and change just one event in your life? What would it be? For John Sullivan, Jim Caviezel, there is no question he would undo the events of October 12th, 1969, and that is the Bruxton fire that his dad, who's a firefighter, he passed away tragically. And so how this happens is that you first meet John. He just has a bad he has a bad relationship. He's kind of down, and he goes to his brother's home, and his brother has a old school radio. And on this night, the northern lights go over the sky. And so he turns it on and he receives someone coming back because he hears it, and he starts talking to him, and they just seem to have build up like at least a nice conversation. After that, like the first night, it shoots back and it's his father, which John doesn't know yet. So Dennis Quaid plays Frank. The next night, John realizes that he is speaking to his dad right before the events of the Bruxton fire. He tries to prevent his father from dying in the fire. And that was actually a pretty cool sequence because he gives him the advice to not trust his instinct, and that's how he died. And so basically he did the opposite choice, and he lives. But the way that it plays out, it's really cool because Dennis Quaid saves the lady from the fire, and what happens is John is with his friends or just in family at a bar, and that's the whole sequence where they're celebrating the death of his father's anniversary, so celebrating his father's life. But during this like time, it like flashes back, and once Dennis Quaid is alive, he's like there's a slow motion of like the drink dropping, time goes where it's all these memories come to Jim Caviezel's character, and which is like his father is alive, so he has these memories of things that he didn't even have before. Now they're implemented, like now they're part of his memory. I thought that was a very cool scene. And so there's a good father and son storyline. However, of course, if you mess with something in one timeline, it's going to change something. Like there's going to be a different event, and in this situation, there is someone who is very special to Jim Caviezel's character, and basically him and his father try to undo that event, and it just becomes this murder mystery crime thriller movie, man. It like does a 180, and I was hooked. Like once it turned into that, and Dennis Quaid becomes like another type of like a hero character, because he's a firefighter, but then he like turns into, you know, someone else trying to save multiple people's lives. Yeah, it was pretty badass, man. I'm not gonna lie. This was an enjoyable movie. And so if I would have seen this like a long time ago, I would have remembered, because I will for sure be rewatching this movie. It was fantastic. So Insomniac, yeah, thank you so much for recommending this movie, because I had a very good time. The next movie that he requested, which was an August one, is Deja Vu. This movie came out in 2006 and is directed by Tony Scott, and y'all know about Tony Scott. And so phenomenal director. And this one is starring Denzel Washington, Val Kilmer, Paula Patton, and Jim Caviezel. My man, was it Adam Goldberg? I think I want to say that's him. He is the one who is in Double Jeopardy. He plays Ashley Judd's husband. So he's a really good actor as well. But this one is the team of top secret program brings ATF agent Doug Carlin, which is Denzel Washington, into its midst to capture the terrorist responsible for a ferry bombing that left hundreds of people dead. These people have this amazing technology, like it really is, to go through events that happened 4 days prior to whatever the current day, and they're able to use it with technology and somehow just go with it, man. I think that's a really cool concept. And yeah, that had my interest as well. Of course, a movie that has Denzel Washington always has my interest. But there's two themes, if you haven't just noticed. One is it's got Jim Caviezel. This movie also has to do about timelines, different timelines. This movie hooks you in the beginning of the movie because it plays out of that ferry incident and the tragic incident that happens. And then you get to know that Denzel Washington, his character, is just very smart. He's very intelligent and can assess events, the crime scenes of what happens. Things just aren't going their way, and Denzel Washington goes back in time, like his character. So they've done enough with that technology that they have, but unfortunately, in order to stop this terrorist, like Denzel Washington's character has to like literally go back in time, and so that eventually happens. And the terrorist is Jim Caviezel. I liked how Jim Caviezel plays a pretty intimidating, or at least not a. I don't know if it's scary, but in some ways like a chilling villain, because there's a scene where he sets a character on fire, and I wasn't expecting that in this damn movie, but it happens. So if that didn't pique your interest already, then that should, because I was like, what the, what the heck, man? So anyway, and also Denzel Washington, his character is really infatuated, just really attracted to the lady that he's trying to save, which is Paula Patton. And yeah, and so this is part of the reason why he has to go back in time. But overall, I thought it was a very good story. And yeah, I definitely recommend it for sure. Tony Scott, he's a very good director as well. But yeah, just two really good movies. But again, guys, Frequency, holy smokes, that's a good movie. Also, this isn't part of, so first and foremost, thank you, Insomniac, for not only being a tier member, but requesting those two movies, because so far, man, you 3 for 3 with your movie requests. Assassins was pretty enjoyable, especially Antonio Banderas, as him being a villain, so that was pretty tight. And then Frequency and Deja Vu, so decided to say that right away. Another movie that I wanted to mention really quick is one that I posted actually when I was on my little family vacation. I was able to see a found footage film directed by Curry Barker, who him and his friend have a YouTube channel, and his, I think it's Cooper Tomlinson, but this movie is called Milk and Cereal. You can see it on YouTube. They posted the entire movie. The movie is very short, and it's so damn good for the budget that they had in this film, because they made it a few years ago, but they just now posted it now. But the acting is actually pretty good. I was not expecting this movie at all. So Milk and Cereal, a surprise birthday prank takes a turn for the worse when a popular social media duo must face the reality of a terrifying aftermath. And these guys, they go like ape crazy, just to the extreme a little bit. A little bit extreme of their pranks that they do towards one another. And just like how far they go, like they push the limit and go further and further. And it's a ride, man. This whole story, again, I wasn't prepared for it, and wasn't expecting it. And it's done by YouTube creators, which also, another note is, you guys know about Talk to Me. And so, which is of course done by a couple content creators as well. But guys, this is a movie I highly recommend. Again, it's a quick watch, and it goes by pretty fast. At least that's how I felt. Because there's some plot twists, and just certain scenes that was a little bit unexpected. And yeah, I just bravo to Barker and those who made this film. So that is another one, guys. Milk and Cereal. I originally was going to do a video about this movie, but I was being honest with myself. Like, I don't think this warrants like an individual review, at least one. Like, it would be pretty dang quick, and I'm talking about the Amityville Horror remake from 2005, starring Ryan Reynolds. And this movie, it's directed by Andrew Douglas. I like this movie. I thought it was a very good remake. I thought so when I originally saw it. And I still thought the same thing as well when I watched it for the 4K. And it also stars the gorgeous Melissa George. She's beautiful, man. Who's also in Triangle. Love that movie. But this one, again, it's a remake to the original movie from the 70s. And this one, Ryan Reynolds, I thought Ryan Reynolds played a great, I don't know, I want to say demonic, but just a terrifying father, at least the character that he becomes. Because Ryan Reynolds always plays like a comedic character, but then of course, which he has some lines that are pretty funny, or does some stuff that's pretty funny, but then his character of course does like a 180. But I thought this movie was very good, and not as, I would say, it's not as good as the original. But things happen a little bit more faster paced in the remake than the original, which happens to in a lot of the 60s, 70s movies. Things kind of build up. This one just kind of happens relatively quick, but I still like it. And Melissa George was pretty good in this film, and the child actors as well, because it's Chloe Grace Moretz. She's in Suspiria and Kick-Ass. So I totally forgot that she was in this movie, not gonna lie. But so that's the movie. It's a good movie, good remake. As far as the 4K transfer, it's in Dolby Vision and DTS Audio's DTS Master 5.1. What's new in this is that the 4K movie has a 4K scan of the original digital interpositive, the DI from the negative. I thought it was a good transfer. Again, the dark scenes looked pretty good. With again, I have an OLED TV, so that the blacks was great, because again, with the Dolby Vision, that HDR, and whenever there was those kind of vibrant colors, or like the reds, it looked pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I wasn't like super impressed with the 4K transfer, which again isn't to say that it's a bad overall 4K transfer. I just want to reiterate that. Also, in this movie, there is only one new special feature, and that is Houses Don't Kill People, Revisiting the Amityville Horror. It's an interview with director Andrew Douglas and composer Steve Jablotsky. Sorry, guys. I'm mispronouncing it. You know how I am. That is 45 minutes long. Was a really good feature. I really liked that. But that is the only thing that they added to this special feature. Also, of course, you know me, I'll have like the list over here of special features. But yeah, there's some auto comments. So archival special features, audio commentary with Ryan Reynolds, Andrew Form, and Brad Fuller, deleted scenes, and the source of evil, making the Amityville Horror, and on-set peaks, home movies, scare reel, and theatrical trailer. So because all that, I didn't think this really needed like an individual 4K review. I made a damn thumbnail for it, but good 4K overall, but meh, if that makes sense. Next is one that I love this movie, and that's A League of Their Own. This is one. This was initially released as part of the box set of the Columbia Classics Volume 1, if I remember right. And so this one is in Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, which I was totally not expecting, but it is. And yeah, I'm sure, this, I mean, this came out again with the Columbia Classics, so I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other League of Their Own reviews, but I do wanted to say that, one, I love this movie. I love Tom Hanks in this movie. I love Madonna in this movie. She's very funny. And Gina Davis, of course. I mean, all the characters in this movie. Roseanne. Not Roseanne. I apologize. Oh my gosh. I do apologize. John Lovitz is really funny. No. Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell. That's who it is. Not Roseanne, but Rosie O'Donnell. She is hilarious in this movie. But I wanted to say that the Dolby Vision, it really is a good 4K. It's not like a reference or anything, but those scenes out in the baseball field are those various different colors throughout this film. The reds, the pinks, the greens, outside shots. It looked very good in this film. Dolby Atmos wasn't anything to really kind of talk about. I thought it was okay. Just an immersive sound for this movie. But again, it's not like an action movie. So I was just really surprised that it did get a Dolby Atmos. So a pleasant surprise, to say the least. Also in this movie, the special features are all on the Blu-ray, and so there's a commentary. There is a 9 memorable endings documentary, deleted scenes, the enduring legacy of a League of Their Own featurette. This used to be my playground music video. Madonna, 3 episodes from the 1993 TV series A League of Their Own. I did not know about that. I'm just being honest. I had no idea. Wow. Sorry, I also forgot to say who the director was, which is Penny Marshall. Y'all know Penny Marshall from Laverne and Shirley back in the 70s, I want to say, is when that show took place. Yeah, this is a classic, iconic movie, in my opinion, and one of my favorites. So there's A League of Their Own. I think it's a must-own. Also, I know this, I think most people got this without a slipcover. However, there is some people who received a blue slipcover. I did not, obviously. What the heck, Sony? Or Columbia. Next... I guess it is Sony, because it's Sony Pictures. Next is, you know what? I'll do this one. Is A Bittersweet Life. This one is Second Sight. This is the limited edition. It looks pretty dang good. I really like the blues to it as well. And I mean... this would have been the 4K right here. This is the Blu-ray. And then there is 140 pages, I think. 110, I think. So A Bittersweet Life is directed by Kim Ji-woon. And this movie is also... Kim Sun-woo is sent by his crime boss employer to shadow his young mistress, so his lady, Hoo-soo, to find out whether she is seeing another man. His instructions are to kill them both if it is true. I have to say that the acting in this is pretty dang good, especially by Lee Bong. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right. But yeah, this came out in 2005, and I have to say that overall, I thought this movie was okay. If I'm being honest, I thought it was a good movie. I'm glad I have it in my collection. You guys already know that I collect Second Sight limited editions. And honestly, I'm gonna rewatch this movie. But overall, at least right now, I'm gonna say that this movie is okay. I think there's some unnecessary like comedic scenes in this movie. Just kind of was, I don't know, maybe just add some type of light moments. Um, but I think if those were thrown out, then I would have. I think I would have enjoyed this movie a little bit more. Just my opinion. But I did like how the story just transpires. He is basically babysitting. He just watches the mistress. Of course, there's something that happens, and I think he makes the morally right choice, but pays the consequence for it. And it just becomes like a revenge film. And I love revenge films. And I think overall, this is a good revenge film. There's good action in it as well. And it's overall, it's a pretty good story. So as far as the 4K transfer from Second Sight, I thought it was good. Not spectacular. That's just my opinion. Second Sight is my favorite boutique label. I've said that like bazillion times, so you guys already know that. But and so yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that this film was digitally shot because it looks like it. But it's always kind of hard. At least I don't know if it's hard, but the upgrade from a digital movie around this type of time frame, the improvements usually isn't too much. Again, because that was kind of the case in some ways with Your Next, because that movie came out in 2011, and this movie just came out a few years prior. But overall, I thought that the movie looked pretty good. And skin detail looked very good. And again, the various colors throughout this movie was pretty good. Great with the Dolby Vision. This is in digital. No, this is in DTS Master 5.1 for the audio. And so overall, I thought this was a good movie, a good release by Second Sight. And if you're a fan of the film, I think this is definitely a must own, whether it's a limited edition like this or just a standard edition from a Second Sight. But it's a good release and a good 4K as well from Second Sight. And my last one is a movie that is directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, Ashana Night Shyamalan, and that is The Watchers. Also, if you watch Trap, there is literally a plug for The Watchers on an overpass. It's like graffitied. Is it graffitied in? I think. Or there's at least something that says The Watchers in it. So it's in the beginning of the film. So if you look for it, because it happens like pretty dang quick. So I thought that was funny. And that was before I even saw this movie. But The Watcher is in Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. It is starring Dakota Fanning, Georgina Campbell, who's in Barbarian. Must watch. That movie needs to be on physical media. And Olin Fjord, I think is her name. She is The older lady in the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that came out in 2022. So The Watchers, before I forget, how they have it on here: in an untouched forest in Western Ireland, 28-year-old artist Mina, which is Dakota Fanning, finds herself trapped in a bunker alongside three strangers who are watched and held prisoner by mysterious creatures. And so that, just that plot line, you're kind of like, what the heck? But I thought this movie does have a good atmospheric, chilling in some scenes, at least moments. It's a movie. There's some suspenseful moments as well. The audio design for the Dolby Atmos is pretty dang good, I do have to say. Especially with the surrounds, very good, especially with these creatures that move around throughout the movie. This has the storyline. Overall, I thought it was good. I guess in a sense where like the first half of the film I really loved, and then you get to like was it at least the last third of it. The last third, I think, is where it's slightly, I kind of lose it a little bit. Not saying that it's an overall bad movie. I would say rent this movie. But if you like a good Atmos, then I think this is like, you should own it. Just because it's, again, physical releases, everything's kind of better, visual, audio quality. But I thought the acting was pretty good in this film, but the last third, just slightly off with it, and the reason why they're trapped, who these creatures are. Not saying again that it was bad, but it was. I know my wife didn't enjoy it. She doesn't like horror movies that much anyway, but this isn't really like a horror movie per se. There's not really any like blood, gore, anything. Not to define that as specifically for horror, but I do think this lends more towards of a thriller. So that's how I would define this movie, as a thriller. And yeah, I thought it was okay. Again, I don't think it needed like a specific video for it, so that's why I kind of just grouped it all together. But I do recommend renting this movie, at least checking it out, because I think it deserves that much. And if you do like it, then the physical release is pretty dang good. The 4K transfer was very good in this movie. The nighttime scenes, holy cow, and the contrast of colors, because the room is bright, and so whenever they're outside in the forest, the forest just looks gorgeous. I thought the picture quality was very good in the Watchers. Again, it's a newer film, so you kind of expect that, but I thought it was very good. And the graphics looked pretty good too, and it kind of plays with the nighttime scenes, the surroundings. So all in all, I thought the graphics looked pretty good. And again, the audio design, I thought that was very good. So, like I said, I recommend it. And that is the movie reviews. It's a little long one, but I just thought I didn't want to do an individual review for some of these movies, and I thought, why the hell not just group them all together. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Hit that like and subscribe button if you do. I really appreciate it. Thank you to my tier members, John from Let's Talk Entertainment and Media, William Driver, and Insomniac. And again, guys, check out my tier memberships. It's down in the description section. And thank you so much, and have a good one.